Well, hello there. This is a Magcargo. It's known as the lava Pokemon, and it's a fire rock type. It's a menace when used in Pokemon battles, of course, but what if you didn't want to use Magcargo for fighting? What if you just don't like fighting? As weird as that is to hear sometimes. What if instead you found Magcargo somewhat beautiful and majestic, and you wanted to keep one as a pet? Would it make a good pet? And is Magcargo the best pet fire type for you? And the answer is no, almost certainly not. But to find out for sure, we'll have to grade the lava Pokemon on our 5 criteria, which are handleability, care, hardiness, availability, and upfront costs. For handleability, we give Magcargo a score of 0 out of 5. Magcargo's body temperature can reach 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That is more than 2 times the temperature of the surface of the sun. Please try to resist the urge to pet your Magcargo. With a temperature that high, it's hard to name things that are hotter than it. Here, I'll name a few things colder than Magcargo instead. Lightning, boiling steel, nuclear explosions. I could go on for ages, and this will probably be the focus of this video. Fire types don't usually make good pets. Pokemon are stinkin' rad, and Magcargo certainly is, but it's also constantly on fire, and things that are constantly on fire are difficult to keep as house pets. And before you ask, no, you can't pet a shell either. Magma that's been hardened is still very, very hot, and the hardened part of Magcargo is still a part of Magcargo. For care, we give Magcargo a score of 2 out of 5. Its diet is quite simple, but delivering it to the Magcargo is another matter. Convection exists, so if you're near your Magcargo, you probably won't last long, so you'll need to throw its food to it. Magcargo can eat basically anything, and it works very well on a diet of rocks. Just pick up some charcoal from the store. The major issue, however, is if it cools too much and loses too much of its shell. The shell is just its skin, but frozen, and if it freezes too much, well, goodbye Magcargo. And it might very well easily freeze, depending on where you live. Speaking of where you live, I hope your house isn't made of wood, or metal, or basically anything but volcanic rock. So maybe consider moving to a volcano, or just keeping it in its Pokeball at all times. But, I mean, what's the fun in that, right? Why even have a Pokemon if it's just going to sit in your ball all day? For hardiness, we give Magcargo a score of 3 out of 5. Its highest score. Good job, Magcargo. Its skin is surprisingly brittle for a rock type and is easily broken off. Too much of that breaking off and your Magcargo gets smaller and smaller until it's just gone. So try to be gentle. Not that you should be anywhere near it, again. Again, convection exists. Make sure that where you live isn't too humid either. It can help cool the Magcargo faster, and then you just have a foggy house and a frozen Magcargo. Bad times all around. For availability, we give Magcargo a score of 2 out of 5. You're pretty much only going to find this thing on mountains, and even though its pre-evolved form Slugma is more common, you'd have a hard time training up a Slugma just to keep a Magcargo as a pet. Magcargo are also not the most popular Pokemon, so you won't find a captive bred too often. Usually I'd find that sad because, again, Magcargo is stinkin' rad, but also again, Magcargo isn't really the correct Pokemon for most people. For upfront costs, we give Magcargo a score of 1 out of 5. You know, unless you already live in a volcanic cave, in which case that score goes up to like a 5. If you do not live in a cave, congratulations, you have to buy a cave now. Otherwise, it will seriously burn a hole through your floor, if it doesn't just straight up burn down your house. And that is why, overall, we give Magcargo a score of 1.6 out of 5. This is not a very good score. Magcargo is stinkin' rad, and is good if you're keeping it in its ball most days, or just using it for battle, but as a pet, it's just a little too much. And if what you want is a fire type that will be your best friend, and that won't burn down your house, what you want is a Growlithe. But if what you want is a gorgeous Pokemon made out of literal magma that you can't get within 10 feet of, then Magcargo might just be the perfect pet fire type for you. Thanks for watching. If you liked this, please let us know what Pokemon you'd like to see talked about next time. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you again real soon.